Okay, guys, this is how the leaderboard works. There are four of us. We're doing a who wins the most challenge. I am currently in first place, and today is the final day. Now, I'm in first place with minus $4,378. Second place is $100 worse than me, so negative 4,470. Third place is negative 5.1K, and fourth place is negative 21,000. So I have no idea how I'm leading this leaderboard. We're all so good at poker. It's insane. But we're going to go play some cash. It's our final day. There's a $400 tournament on later. I'll probably skip it if cash is going well. And the payouts for the leaderboard: first place gets all the money, second place owes $50, third place owes $100, fourth place owes $200. That's enough for me. Let's go play some 1-3. Bump ourselves up. Let's try and book like a nice $500 win today. Let's do it. See you there. Okay, we were playing some 1-3. Let's get straight into it. In for $500. We're kicking things off with the raise up to $10 with the king jack off. We only get one call from the button, so we're going heads up to this flop, which comes down 8, 6, 4, 1 spade, 2 hearts. Not a whole lot going on for us, so we are just going to check this one over, and our opponent checks behind. Off to the turn, it's the ace of spades. Pretty good card for me. I'm going to do a lot of checking with some ace highs, so I think a bet is okay here, and I decide to size up a little bit. Just put some pressure on some of his gut shots, like 10-9, something like that. So 20 into the middle. My opponent calls. Off to the river, it is an interesting one. It's the 7 of spades introducing a 4-liner to the board, but I feel like a 5 would have bet on the flop. So I'm not too worried about the straight, but we do have the nut flush blocker, so I'm going to go for a big bet here. I'm going to go around 2x pot, and I put in 110 into the middle. My opponent gives a little bit of thought and eventually decides just to let it go. So kicking things off with a bit of aggression and picking up a nice pot here to start off the session. On to the next hand. We've played a few small pots. We're chipping up nicely here. Got a 650 in our stack. And we got a limp, and we raise the ace jack of clubs up to 15 over the limp. We do get a caller from the field as well as a limper, so we're going 3 ways to this flop, which comes down real nice. It's ace, queen, 3, 2 diamonds, and a heart. Gonna kick things off with a small bet here. I put in 15. Cutoff folds, but the limper does make the call. Off to the turn, it's another interesting one. It's the jack of hearts giving us 2 pair. Does bring in some king 10. There's a backdoor flush draw, but it's a card that could give my opponent a worse 2 pair as well, most notably queen jack offsuit. So when he checks, I'm going to want to bet, and I think pretty big is a good size here. So 60 into the middle. My opponent once again makes the call. Off to the river, it is the 4 of hearts, so bringing in the backdoor flush draw. My opponent checks once again, and I think it over for a little bit. He's probably got either a queen or an ace here, and I think we should go very large and just try and milk him for as much value as possible. So that is what I do. I go 225, which in my mind was pot, but as you guys know, I'm very bad at math, and he gives it a little bit of thought. But unfortunately, we do not get paid at this hand, but still, chipping up nicely here. It's looking good for our leaderboard results. Okay, on to this next hand. This one is with our nemesis. He absolutely killed us in 4-bet pots in a few videos ago, but he is once again at the table. He has raised it up to 15. There's a call from the button, and we look down at a very playable pocket kings from the big blind. I go for the squeeze here, 4x plus 1 in position, which means 5x. 5 times 15 is 75. At least I can do that. And it's back on him. And he gives it a little bit of thought before grabbing a big stack of greens. Look at that. And then asks how much I have behind. Oh, he almost shoved. I show him my stack. He gives it a little bit more thought. And after a little bit more thought, he does decide just to let it go. He said his decision was between a jam or a fold. That was so close. We almost had a huge double up there, but still picking up another nice pot here. Okay, let's keep this run going. We're up to $700 now, up $200 on the day. There's a straddle on now, and we got 2 limpers. I looked down ace, 6 of hearts in the big blind, bump it on up to $35. Straddle makes the call. Hijack folds, which is quite surprising. Then cutoff decides to jam the rest of his stack in. Straddler, he's not going to have any traps here, so I'm just happy to rejam this and get it heads up. So much dead money, and with somebody that just overlimped, I reckon our ace is ahead. So I rejam, straddle folds, and we're off to the races, and it comes down 10, 6, 3. That's a really good start. The turn is the 9 of clubs. River is the 7 of clubs. I roll it over. My opponent has king 9 suited. I cannot win an all-in pre-flop here in Calgary. It is crazy, but we are still up 60 on the day. We had a really nice spot here to win, $322 pot with only 135, and we got it in 55% or so. So, on to the next hand. Okay, folks, the session has taken a really bad turn. We played a double board bomb pot where we had a straight on the top board and top pair on the bottom board, and we got scooped for a massive, massive pot. It was something, I think I lost like $800 that hand. So we rebought for another 700. We were back in the mix. There's a bunch of limps. I just decided to make a bit of a speculative limp here with a 7-4 of hearts on the button. Small blind completes and big blind checks his option. We're going 7 ways to this flop, which comes out okay. It's 6-5-3 rainbow. We got the backdoor flush draw. We got the overcard, but more importantly, we flopped the nut straight. Action actually checks all the way to me. And I don't want to go too crazy. I want to get some floats from something like 8-9. Very happy for the gut shot to continue. Very happy for him to continue with ace highs as well. So he can have some ace deuces, which are just drawing dead. So I don't want to go big. I want all the dominating hands in there. So I bet 5. We get a call from the small blind, as well as the low jack and the hijack and the cutoff. So very good news. We're going 5 ways to this turn. There are no bad turns, except for that one, the 4 of spades. I don't think I've ever flopped a straight and it stayed the nuts. The board is going to get so messy every time. Now low jack leads for 12. It's already not feeling great. I just decided to call, and then small blind bumps it on up to $175. Oh my goodness. This session's not going well. We're already down a bunch of money. We're already down $500, and now this. Low jack now rejams for 800, and yep, I guess there are bad turns. We fold, small blind calls. King of clubs and small blind turned the nuts with 7-8. And low jack just had a deuce just from the low end of the straights, and that is insane. Okay, well, at least we only lost $8 that hand. It could have been a lot worse. Or $20. Still, could have been way worse. Okay, guys, on to this hand. We just got scooped once again in a double board, no limit bomb pot. We flopped open end on the top board and trips on the bottom board with queen deuce. And he had middle pair on the top board and nothing on the bottom, but he went runner, 8-8 on the bottom to make a higher full house and managed to scoop us for like $800. So we are in the game now for $2,300. It's not going well. And this is a really loose call. I think queen 9 suited, I'm happy to call, but queen 8, just get out of there. But anyways, we're playing against this guy. I call the queen 8, and we go heads up to this flop of queen 4-3, 2 clubs and a heart. He goes for the bet here, 15 into the middle, and I decide just to call. Off to the turn, it is the 9 of spades. My opponent puts in another bet, but only $35 this time. And I think this is a good spot to go for a very thin value raise here. There's a lot of hands that can continue, a 9, clubs, jack 10, just a lot of hands that can pay us. So I go for a very thin raise here, up to 105. My opponent gives it a little bit of thought before making the call. Hence the river, it is probably the worst one in the deck, is the king of clubs. Like, who put that there? Stop. And then even worse, my opponent goes for the lead of $250. That's unfortunate. We fold, and I can't remember what he had, but he definitely hit the river. I think he showed, I think a straight. I can't remember though, but anyways, this session is not going well, but let's keep at it. Okay, guys, this is our last hand. We're just about to rack up, and we're going to go play the $400 tournament because cash is not going well, and I just want to play my last cutoff hand. So I overlimp the queen 4 of spades on the cutoff. Just stupid. But we go to a flop of 5-3 deuce, 2 spades, 1 diamond. That is huge. That's an open-ender with a flush draw. We get a lead out of $15 here. Middle position now bumps it up to 79. Low jack folds, it's on me. It's quite clear this guy has a set. We're getting a good price here. It's not a great price, but we're getting a good price on what we have. So I make the call. No point shoving here. We're never getting him to fold. And we definitely want some other people to continue with dominated flush draws. And under the gun +2 also makes a call. We go 3 ways to the turn, and it comes down the 7 of clubs. So close. Checks. Middle position now jams for 215, and I did some quick maths, and we've got, I think, 7 flush draw outs, which are clean, and we also have 6 straight outs, so 13 outs, 26%. No, I don't think we have the equity to call here. I think it's really close.
Yeah, I think it's super close. Maybe he's got a worse flush draw once in a blue moon. So it's close enough. I'm tilted. We make the call. Under the gun folds. River is the queen of diamonds, but he's probably just got a set, and indeed he does have the set, and we're going to lose that one as well. Okay, folks, that is going to wrap up my Calgary trip. We lost $2,465 at 1-3, mostly from those double board bomb pots, followed by two $400 bullets in the tournament for a total loss of $3,265 for the day, putting us at negative $7,643 for the trip, meaning I am in third place and owe $100 for the leaderboard. That is it for me, guys. I will catch you all next week with some more cash game vlogs. Thank you once again so much for watching. See you all later.